here to handle the refugee situation on behalf of City Hall. I'm the acting supervisor here, so I have full authority here to ask you to leave, or I shall order the police to detain you for trying to pass the blockade. Please, step back.
Works indoors, poor lighting. Wants to look authoritative. Sweating and stressed. Okay, sedentary. So he sits down a lot. Tries to appear older. Yeah, he's a tired pen pusher. He always does things by the books. Yeah, I think that's the one.
The people in the crowd are shouting about a murder in the camp. Are you trying to hide it?
It's mere assumption. I assure you that the situation is under the police's control.
If it was under control, if there was no dead body, you wouldn't be as nervous as you are. You would be sitting in your cozy dark corner of a City Hall room doing nothing as usual. Yet, you're here, trying to deal with a series of problems you never asked for.
These insults are inappropriate. You don't know what I'm doing for this camp. Even though the rest of City Hall doesn't give a bloody squat about the refugees. Maybe I didn't want to be assigned to this camp. But I'm trying to do my best for these people. If not for my work, they might not have any shelter or food even.
Oh, so I picked the wrong one.
Mr. Harlow. Perhaps I was prejudiced towards you, but in any case, I'm sure that you would still want this to be over as quickly as possible. The current reality is that neither you nor the police are managing things well here. You are unable to calm the crowd. You have simply never handled a situation like this before.
What are you driving at, Mr. Holmes?
I can help you to handle the situation if you're truly interested in solving things quickly and quietly.
And how exactly would you manage that?
Simply tell the police that I'm with City Hall and I'm permitted to investigate the scene. I'll work out the rest, but in return, I need your help finding my witness.
Yep.
She's a young refugee. She's with child or was with child recently.
Look, there is indeed a dead body inside the camp. So even if the girl you are looking for is there, all the refugees are now being detained and interrogated by the police. They won't allow you to speak with her, and I can't do anything about that until the situation settles down.
So it's in our mutual interest to settle it.
Oh. I suppose that things are bad enough that I ought not shy away from help. All right, Mr. Holmes. I'll tell the police to allow you to come inside. Just tell me when you're ready.
Okay.
Mr. Harlow, how did the refugees end up here exactly?
Oh, so you're not from around here yourself?
I've been away for some time, but I read the papers.
Yes, this whole story has been in the papers for almost a year now. They were smuggled to Cordona on a ship from Africa.
Smuggled? Then why didn't you deport them?
The smugglers managed to sneak them to shore and hide them inside an abandoned warehouse. When the police raided the warehouse and found the refugees there, the ship was already gone. We aren't even certain as to which ship it was. We have busy shipping routes with other colonies these days, you see.
So you decided to lock them up under a bridge?
There was no other option. We're still trying to work out what to do with them. I only hope we'll find a humane solution and not put them on a raft and float them out to sea.
Okay.
Mr. Harlow, what exactly do you do here? What are your responsibilities?
What I do and what I am responsible for are two different realities, Mr. Holmes. On paper, I am in charge of the camp territory, security, provision, and the refugees in general. What I actually do most of the time is knock on every City Hall door trying to obtain some funding, or at least rations for the camp.
The police here on City Hall's behalf too?
They are, minus those who came here after the body was found. The governor won't let the refugees disperse into the island, so there's a significant police presence guarding the camp. Naturally, they answer directly to the police. I have some influence here, but I'm not their direct authority.
I'm ready to take a look at the scene.
All right. Go inside the camp and find Inspector Tewkesbury. He's the officer investigating the scene. Tell him I sent you. Say you're an independent expert from City Hall. He'll fill in the details for you.
I'll find my way with words. Thank you, Mr. Harlow.
Okay. Hmm.
So they keep these refugees under a bridge like proverbial trolls. No wonder the people outside are so disturbed.
Who the hell are you? How did you get in here?
Mr. Ronald Harlow let me in, sir. I'm Sherlock Holmes, a surveyor of refugee affairs with City Hall. You're Inspector Tewkesbury, I presume?
A surveyor.
Haven't we
What
heard
does
the
that even
name
mean?
Tewkesbury
In
before?
short, I've been sent to conduct an extensive report on the incident for the Colonial Office and to assess all the damage inflicted on state property.
Got it. Another paperworm sent to count money and get food for archive mold. Go on, look around, but don't make yourself too at home. As if I didn't have enough problems before you appeared.
Could you first tell me what happened here?
What happened? People from the bridge above the camp heard a woman screaming and saw a mass of refugees attacking a man. Clearly not a refugee. When the camp guards came by, the man
Okay.
was floating in the sewage canal with a knife in his chest. Bam. A murder. Big news for Cordona.
I'm sure. Thank you, Inspector.
Hmm.
And none of the refugees were harmed?
One fellow was cut. He's lying over there near their kitchen. He's in a bad way.
You mentioned a woman screaming who attracted the bypassers on the bridge. Was she harmed?
No, she's all right, but perhaps the whole debacle started because of her. She started wailing and the refugees stood up for the girl.
And where is this young woman now?
Back there in the shacks, same as the rest of the refugees. She's been questioned by my men, but she's just some refugee girl. Can't understand much English.
Okay.
Did you learn anything about the dead man?
The fellow looks like a thug. I've had dozens like him fished out of the sea over the past 20 years. Ever since these refugees arrived, there have been people on Cordona with bad blood in them. My best bet is that this thug had something against them too.
And no clue as to his identity.
He had some items on his body, but nothing to indicate who he was or where he was from.
I think I should catalogue his possessions in my records.
Go on. They're on the table near the body.
Do you have any suspects yet?
You're joking, right? I've got a whole camp full of suspects. And if you ask me, this bloke had it coming. Better bury him and forget about the whole thing. And now there's a crowd gathered at the camp, and my superiors say we must thoroughly interrogate the refugees. At least those who can understand any English.
Do you believe that your superiors wish to get rid of the refugees?
Probably
I
do.
think that both our superiors would rather keep the story quiet. Since that's an unaffordable luxury now, they're looking how to protect their public image. That's why I have to waste my time waiting for my people to turn every stone and befriend every refugee.
Okay.
Here we go again. Number of hours on Cordona before stumbling upon another dead body? 0.
Clearly a left handprint here.
Okay.
A blood trail leading to a furrow in the ground.
Well, trench. That's a footprint. What do you mean a furrow? It's definitely a footprint.
Someone bled profusely here. A fresh crack, as if the crate was hit recently.
What you got there, John? Size 9, police boots.
Police
Okay.
boots. Always happy to trample evidence.
Size 10, barefoot.
A man's footprint.
9.5.
A heavy boot with a worn-out sole.
9.5 is the same size boot print that we found in the coal, isn't it? Pretty sure it was. His possessions on the table. Oh, are these Malpals?
Malpal, soaked with salt water. £1,000. A fair sum, especially considering British currency isn't very common in Cordona.
Hmm.
A simple leather sheath. Perfect for a dirk.
Okay, so he smokes the same as the murderer we're chasing. The big old pot you got there.
Oh, carnelian agate beads, a traditional African adornment.
Hmm.
The blood sprayed off the blade after the strike. It might have been used as an improvised weapon. No hint of blood or impact.
Okay. If someone did try to use it, they weren't very successful.
The cut is deep, potentially serious if not treated immediately. He is in shock, feverish and dehydrated.
Okay.
Jerry, you know first aid. Surely you have a duty to help this man. You can't leave him to certain death.
Wounded refugee. What do you want me to do with him?
I think we can find all we need here in the camp. Let's have a good look around.
Okay. I mean, some clean cloths would be needed for us to make a bandage. Hmm.
Someone was dragged against their will.
The refugees have been detained and will not leave until all the circumstances are clarified.
Hmm. Oh, don't you look familiar? Is this Devil Man?
An interesting tattoo. Does it mean something?
Hmm. Need something to clean the wound, disinfect the wound to use as a bandage. Coal dust.
Coal dust under the nails. I don't see much coal around here.
9.5.
Heavy boots, with one sole far more worn than the other. This man was limping, John. A steel dirk, sharp. A common accessory among sailors and soldiers. I'd say the blade penetrated upward, however the wound is too messy to be certain. A violent death. This man, limping. Coal dust. I think we're onto something here, John.
Yup.
You know what? I'd like to understand.
What?
How did our dead man end up inside the camp in the first place?
Oh, aloe vera.
I can use this to stop the infection from spreading.
I thought aloe vera was mainly used for like burns and stuff, but okay.
I'll use it to create a solution.
What am I missing?
Just
Seem pretty
wash.
clean.
Better than nothing to bandage the wound. I've plated all the ingredients, now to prepare the first aid solution.
Oh, should I use this, the pot? Or can I just go directly to him? Just go directly to him, I suppose. Or I need to do it here. So you need -2 +1 +2. I can invert this. Reduce this by 1. Boom.
Thank you.
That was a quick
This should make you
recovery.
feel better, my friend. Now remain lying down and drink as much water as you can.
Well done, Sherry. At least he won't die from the infection.
Well, at least for now, he needs to keep changing that bandage every couple of hours, I would say. There's the boat missing. A boat
It's
unlikely.
unlikely anyone could get in or out of the camp by water without alerting the police guards.
Then he must have come through the sewer, right?
If they find out about the passage, everything will go to hell.
What passage? Take out refugees. Old sleuth. Money. And lockdown. Police officers are worried about the situation with their body would put the camp into strict lockdown. They'll lose the money flow they were earning from their scheme.
Nobody will know anything if you keep your bloody mouth shut.
The coppers smell fishy here, Sherry. Perhaps we should sniff around in the camp a little more thoroughly.
Sealed shut. I doubt our
Sherry,
man
just
could get
look at
through
this.
grates.
Living quarters in a sewer. What kind of a genius bureaucrat came up with this idea?
But there's a tunnel somewhere.
No, it's too short for these walls or cliffs.
Where would they be keeping the tunnel? Did you say hard-boiled? What? Oh, hard-boiled inspector. Recently had risky, friendly.
You still here?
I'll just look.
I...
Vogue also visited the Vogel's gallery. The dead man from the refugee camp was the same person who broke into Vogel's gallery. Hey, Azrael. Oh, we gave him it's not it's a suit. It's not really a tracksuit. He's looking dapper AF. Look at him. Look at him. We can also make him look like this.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Could you help me?
Nothing I can tell you, sir, but others might know more.
Oh, I am bored. Call me when you find the answer.
Oh no.
May I ask you something?
Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
Hmm.
Excuse me, just one question.
Oh, I don't know about that. Ask one of the others.
Time to check your who, what, and what, Sherry. Who are you asking? About what, and dressed as what?
He won't let me through. So maybe ask what's his face up here. I'll take off the hat, you numpty.
You still here?
The guards at the sewers were speaking about taking refugees out of the camp. Do you know anything about this, Inspector?
Less than you do, obviously.
And this doesn't bother you as an officer of the law?
I can neither punish them nor put them on the right track, if that's what you're asking. Maybe your friends at City Hall could do something about it, but I seriously doubt that. To be honest, I'm sick and tired of being frowned on for my uniform. If those fine gentlemen you've eavesdropped on are in some shady business, that's on their heads.
Okay.
I'm busy. Don't you have papers to fill? City Hall lubberheads.
Help me, please.
A solid question, sir, but I don't have the answer.
Hmm. Maybe talk to our City Hall friend?
I hope I'm not making a grave mistake in trusting you, Mr. Holmes.
Addicted to coffee. Well.
Who isn't allowed to visit the crime scene these days?
Hmm.
A single Malpal butt.
Okay.
Roadman cigarettes. A brand highly regarded by law enforcement officers. So there wasn't any sophisticated infiltration plan. The good old police just let the man into the camp.
Yep.
Now we have everything we need to get the full picture of what happened at the camp.
Hmm. Take it away, John. That's a footprint, so I'm pretty sure they got kicked. Not shoved. Yeah, that did get knocked over. He was running. The other guy was fought in hot pursuit. He was definitely trying to take her away. What's face try to help? And he got Sparta kicked into the river.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
No, she wouldn't cower behind him. You'd already been stabbed at this point.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Hmm. No, they're both going in the same direction.
You're not even trying.
I mean, there's a
Sherry.
handprint on there.
Concentrate.
That would make sense, actually. And he scuffed his shoe there. So that one's good. He accidentally stabbed himself in falling. There we go.
So, we have a thug who came to take a refugee woman with him. She resisted, but he dragged her by force. One of the refugees stood in his way, armed with a stick, yet he could do nothing against a cutthroat with a blade. The man didn't anticipate that the other refugees would intervene and stand against him. In the confusion, the woman managed to break free. The thug took fright and fled. He was stopped by the falling crates. He stumbled and fell, piercing his chest with his own blade. However, the wound didn't cause instant death. He managed to stand, but still bleeding, he lost his balance on the bridge and fell.
Okay.
Before all of this, the man had freely entered the camp through the main entrance. The police admitted him after they had a short smoke together.
You live by the sword, you die by the sword. In our man's case, it's the same sword.
Hmm. But before we do this, but we should do this before we leave the camp for good. Have I done this correctly now? Hmm. Bug came into the camp intending to kidnap the woman. He had the opportunity to kill her, but that wasn't his goal. He's not merely a thief, but also a kidnapper, a henchman who takes care. Yeah, he's I think he's like to be a fixer. Hmm. I don't see any, like, detection things here. Maybe it's in there, the back, where they're currently being locked up.
You still here?
Inspector, I believe I can aid your investigation. I know who the dead man is and what really happened here.
You do? Well, good for you. But I'm afraid I'm not the one you need to share your findings with. Speak to Mr. Harlow here. He's the one responsible for settling things in the camp.
You don't even care to listen?
Oh, I do care. And maybe even more than I need to. But I'm only here today to lock the place up, question witnesses, and file the facts. It's sad, but coming up with conclusions is not among my tasks here.
Wow.
The fellows at City Hall do that. Anyway, speak to the supervisor. I'll just stand by and listen to what you have to say.
Okay.
Mr. Harlow, your refugees didn't murder anyone.
What? Pray tell me what you've learned.
All right, listen carefully. This might solve